Forget Luis Enrique and Zidane. Beckham declares Carrick is the anti-cure for Manchester United's decade-long nightmare. For over a decade, the corridors of Old Trafford have been haunted by the ghost of instability, searching for a soul who truly understands the United way. Today, that search might finally be over. David Beckham has hailed Michael Carrick as the long-awaited antidote to Manchester United's turbulence, an appointment that has transformed a season of crisis into a masterclass of composure and tactical resurgence. The Carrick Renaissance, deciphering the statistical resurgence. When you look at the league table today, the transformation feels almost tectonic. Since Michael Carrick stepped into the technical area in January, Manchester United has operated with a level of surgical precision that we haven't seen in the post-Ferguson era. Collecting 23 points from a possible 30 isn't just a purple patch, it is a fundamental shift in the club's competitive DNA. Under the previous regime, the side often felt stretched and vulnerable, caught in a high-risk tactical framework that left the backline exposed. Carrick, however, has restored a sense of equilibrium. He has moved away from the chaotic, transition-heavy approach of the Ruben Amorim era, opting instead for a controlled, rhythmic style of play that mirrors his own legendary composure as a midfielder. The most striking improvement lies in the defensive metrics. Gone are the days of conceding cheap, high-turnover goals that crippled the team's momentum. By narrowing the gaps between the lines and demanding a more disciplined pressing trigger, Carrick has effectively insulated his defenders. It is a tactical masterstroke of less is more. By reducing the frequency of erratic individual errors through better positional coaching, United have become a daunting unit to break down. The efficiency is staggering. 7 victories in 10 matches were not achieved through frantic last-minute heroics, but through a calculated dominance. Each win has felt like a professional execution, a methodical dismantling of the opposition where the risk is managed and the rewards are maximized. This statistical surge is the byproduct of a manager who understands that at Old Trafford, stability is the precursor to success. Carrick hasn't just fixed the tactics, he has restored the mathematical probability of winning. As David Beckham rightly noted, the calmness on the touchline has filtered down into the data on the pitch. The high turnover goals that once plagued the side have vanished, replaced by a winning efficiency that has propelled the Red Devils into third place. It is a renaissance built on the bedrock of tactical intelligence and an unwavering belief in the Manchester United identity.
The Beckham verdict, Michael Carrick as the stabilizing antidote. When David Beckham speaks about the soul of Manchester United, the football world stops to listen. His recent endorsement on talkSPORT wasn't just a friendly nod to a former teammate, it was a clinical deconstruction of what has been missing at Old Trafford for an entire decade. Beckham's assertion that Carrick serves as a stabilizing antidote speaks to a profound psychological shift within the Carrington walls. For 10 years, the club has been trapped in a cycle of volatility, often oscillating between tactical identity crises and emotional outbursts. Beckham highlights that Carrick has effectively bridged this gap by restoring the United DNA, that intangible mixture of quiet confidence and relentless standards. The brilliance of Carrick's tenure, as Beckham notes, lies in his elite temperament. While modern management often favors the histrionics of the touchline, Carrick's composed persona acts as a heatsink for the immense pressure of the Premier League. Beckham pointedly observed the way Carrick celebrates goals and handles setbacks. There is no panic, only a calculated focus that trickles down to the players on the pitch. This calmness isn't merely a personality trait, it is a tactical asset. By projecting an aura of control, Carrick has silenced the external noise that so often derailed previous regimes. In Beckham's view, Carrick understands the internal mechanics of the club better than any outsider could, proving that sometimes the best way to move forward is to embrace the poise of a man who lived and breathed the club's golden era. This isn't just a honeymoon period, it is the restoration of an elite sporting culture.
Identity and operational mastery. The midfielder's vision from the technical area. There is a poetic symmetry in watching Michael Carrick command the Old Trafford technical area, a sense of déjà vu for those who remember the silent conductor of Sir Alex Ferguson's last great dynasties. As David Beckham poignantly observed,
Carrick has successfully translated his DNA as a deep-lying playmaker into a managerial philosophy defined by control, patience, and surgical precision. On the pitch, Carrick was never the one to sprint aimlessly. He moved the world around him with a single look and a cushioned pass. Today, he applies that same rhythmic intelligence to a squad that had previously looked frantic and disjointed. By slowing the game down mentally, he has allowed Manchester United to speed up physically, replacing the chaos of the previous era with a calculated poise that feels inherently united. This restoration goes far beyond tactical tweaks. It is about the fundamental reclamation of the Carrington culture. Carrick understands the United way not as a marketing slogan, but as a living standard of excellence and humility. He has stripped away the external noise that haunted the club for a decade, reintroducing a sense of identity that honors the past while navigating the modern complexities of the Premier League. Where previous regimes perhaps struggled with the weight of the badge, Carrick wears it with a quiet confidence that trickles down to his players. The contrast in touchline dynamics is perhaps the most visible indicator of this new era. While many modern managers lean into performative passion, flailing arms, and manic outbursts, Carrick remains a portrait of stoic focus. Beckham highlighted this specific aura. Even in the heat of a local derby or a crucial top-four clash, Carrick's reactions are measured and deliberate. This lack of reactionism provides a psychological safety net for the players on the grass. When the manager doesn't panic, the team doesn't panic. He isn't merely watching the game, he is reading it 2 moves ahead, much like he did in a red shirt, proving that the smartest man in the room doesn't need to be the loudest. It is this masterful blend of tactical sobriety and cultural heritage that has finally brought the calm Beckham spoke of back to the theater of dreams.
The boardroom dilemma: interim success versus global pedigree. The corridors of power at Old Trafford are witnessing a fascinating tactical standoff, one that mirrors the high-stakes chess match Michael Carrick is currently winning on the pitch. Jason Wilcox and Omar Berrada, the architects of this new United era, find themselves at a crossroads that defines modern football governance. By hitting the pause button on managerial negotiations, they aren't just being cautious, they are acknowledging a fundamental shift in the club's pulse. Why rush into a multi-million-pound contract when the solution might already be sitting in the dugout, wearing the club blazer with such effortless authority? This strategic silence speaks volumes, suggesting that the United way, so often dismissed as a nostalgic myth, has finally found a modern vessel in Carrick. However, the shadows of the elite continue to loom large over the theatre of dreams. The board is forced to weigh Carrick's organic success against the sophisticated tactical blueprints of names like Andoni Iraola, Oliver Glasner, and Roberto De Zerbi. These are managers who have built reputations on high-pressing systems and structural innovation. The dilemma lies in whether United should opt for a system coach who imposes a philosophy from the outside, or stick with the man who has restored the club's soul from within. Then there is the Gareth Southgate factor, a candidate who brings immense international pedigree and a proven ability to manage massive egos under the brightest spotlights. It is a classic battle of ideologies. Do you trust the momentum of a local hero who has stabilized a sinking ship, or do you pivot to a global name to satisfy the commercial and competitive demands of a modern superpower? For Wilcox and Berrada, the final 7 games are no longer just a race for the top 4. They are a live audition that will determine the very identity of Manchester United for the next decade. The final 7 sprints, securing the Champions League frontier. As we enter the business end of the season, Manchester United find themselves in a position of strength that few would have predicted during the winter doldrums. Michael Carrick has successfully engineered a 6-point cushion over the chasing pack, are high-stakes tactical chess matches where the mental fortitude of the squad will be tested to its absolute limit. Carrick's greatest asset in this homestretch is the luxury of time, a rare commodity at Old Trafford. With the club no longer stretched thin by the exhausting travel and physical toll of European midweeks, the coaching staff can finally implement meticulous, game-specific plans.
This lack of distraction allows for optimal recovery and high-intensity training cycles, ensuring that the starting 11 arrives at every kickoff with fresh lungs and sharp minds. However, the narrative transcends the simple mathematics of the league table. For Michael Carrick, these 7 sprints represent the ultimate audition for the permanent role. The boardroom hierarchy, led by Barada and Wilcox, is no longer just looking for victories. They are searching for a sustainable tactical identity and the ability to handle the suffocating pressure of a top 4 race. To shed the interim tag once and for all, Carrick must prove he can manage the squad's emotional temperature when the stakes are highest. It is about demonstrating that the stability Beckham alluded to is not a temporary bounce, but a foundational shift. If Carrick can navigate this final frontier with the same poise he showed as a player, the club may find that the solution to their decade-long search for stability was standing in the technical area all along. The objective is clear: finish the job, secure the Champions League anthem for next season, and turn a temporary rescue mission into a long-term dynasty. Michael Carrick has become the steady hand in a decade of turbulence, restoring the very soul of Manchester United. As Beckham suggests, this isn't just about a tactical shift, it is about the poise of a leader who truly understands the club's DNA. With the Champions League in sight, the question remains: is Carrick a temporary fix or the permanent cure Old Trafford has been waiting for?